When we borrow information, we credit that in the text by providing a signal phrase and a parenthetical citation so that the reader knows who wrote the text that we are borrowing, where it came from, its context, and also the page number we can find it. But then we have to provide what's termed a bibliographical citation. That is, we provide the publication information so that the reader can find the source if they choose to. In MLA formatted documents, that collection of sources is called a works cited. It's called references sometimes. It's called a bibliography sometimes. But in MLA, it's called a works cited. The works cited is included on a separate page. It is an alphabetical list of sources used in the paper, and the citations use a hanging indent. We set that in paragraph formatting. Let me show you a couple of things with regard to formatting. When I want to have a work cited, I can come to the very end of the paper, or I can type the word works cited, which is going to be centered. It's going to be the title of the page, and I can come to the front of it, and I can use the insert page break command, and it will begin a new page. That way, there is a constant or a stability to that new page. So that's how you set it up on a separate page. It's still in the same document. Your header and your page numbers will continue to the works cited. The second thing to consider is the fact that the citations are cited in a particular way. You'll notice here that your course text is cited using a hanging indent. Let's look at how you do that. You go any place to the beginning, you go to paragraph formatting, you tell it under indentation that you want hanging indent, and you tell it OK. Now, in an MLA formatted paper, all of this would be double spaced, but I use single spacing to compress the information. Notice, though, works cited, an alphabetical list of sources, which means that that is how they are arranged on the paper, that use a hanging indent. We set the hanging indent in paragraph formatting. You need to include a works cited for the text that you are analyzing and any sources that you use for definitions. If you choose a text from the course text, which is one of your options, you will use the format for a selection in an anthology. If you choose an advertisement, which is another option, you will choose the format for an advertisement. If you use the course text for definitions, you will include it as a text. If you use a dictionary or an encyclopedia for a definition, you would include that. Let's look at what those formats look like. First of all, the section MLA 4B tells you how you set up a list of works cited. It gives you particular information about authors, articles, books, online sources, audio and visual sources, and other kinds of sources. This is where you go. This is your go-to reference. You can also go to the OWL at Purdue, but this is your go-to reference for this information. Let's look at those particular citations. Number 24 is one or more selections from an anthology. If you choose a text from your textbook, this is how you set it up. You have the last name and the first name of the author, that is the author of the text being analyzed, the title of the anthology, in this case it would be your textbook. You include the editors because they didn't write all of the work, they are selecting and choosing. The city of publication for the textbook, the publisher, the date, and the pages that this selection came from. Notice again, last name, comma, first, period, title of the article, period, name of the anthology, period, the editors, period, city of publication, colon, publisher, comma, date, period. Those are pretty standard. Page numbers at the end, and then the medium. If you recall from some of the examples I've shown you, it has had web and a date. That was because it came from the web, and it gives you the date of access. If you choose to analyze an advertisement, number 71 gives you the format. It tells you include the name of the product or company, followed by the word advertisement, the information for the publication, where it comes from, and then a couple of other things. This would be the name of the product or company. Advertisement. It was published in Vogue magazine in December of 2000 on pages 95 through 98, and it is print. Arabella Insurance advertisement was on Boston.com, which is sponsored by the New York Times. There is not a date given. It is on the web, and they accessed this source on the 3rd of September 2009. If you use an encyclopedia or a dictionary for definitions for your concepts or terms, you need to provide bibliographical citations. Notice that if there is an author, that goes first, and that is sometimes the case with an encyclopedia, period, the title of the article, period, article title is enclosed in quotation marks, the title of the text, the fact that it is the 15th edition, published in 1987, and that it is print. The same thing is true for a definition. Notice that that it is capitalized even if the entry wasn't originally. Name of the publication, the edition, and that it's print. You would use the same format if it is a web-based resource, but notice that you do need to give credit. These entries are arranged alphabetically, as with others. In this case, it would be arranged by the author's name. In this case, by the title of the entry. You've already seen the basic format for a book, but notice that there is a format for an edition other than the first, which are textbooks or both editions other than the first. Notice author's name. If there are two, the second one goes in normal order. The title of the text, underlined or italicized, either one's fine, but be consistent. Period, second edition, the title of the publisher, the place of publication, the name of the publisher, comma, and then the date of publication, and finally print if it is a print text. There are forms for online books, but we'll look those up individually if you need them. Notice the item numbers or in that section. If you are using a text from the course text, you would treat it as a selection in an anthology. If you have an advertisement, it's an advertisement. If you use the course text for definitions, this is the form of the bibliographical citation. It is a text with more than one author, and it is a second edition. Finally, for dictionaries, use this format. If you are going online, there is a slightly different format for online. You can look that up in the MLA section of the Hacker and Summers text. So if you borrow material, you credit that source in the text itself. It's called an in-text citation. That includes the signal phrase, which is the author's name, the context, and a parenthetical citation that indicates the page number. If there is no page number, you use the title of the article or the author's name in place of the page number. Finally, all of those sources that are cited are included on a separate page, part of the same document, and though they are arranged alphabetically by the first word in the entry, the citations include a hanging indent. Your paper will include a works cited page, and you'll notice that when you submit your topic, you are also to submit your works cited page. You may add to it, but you will be able to identify the text being analyzed, and you do want to go ahead and consider what words or concepts you're going to define.